Shalom. Allah start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles, and the elders of great millstone, salutations to the Philet, disputing this truth across the four corners of earth, all faith, truth, and sincerity. This I'm gonna want to buy back when we were sitting. This one going to about times that we're in as far as what's going on with the tariffs that Donald Trump is putting on China and the back and forth, the tariffs being put on goods, and there's a lack of it was about to be a lack of goods on the shelves. Right now the shelves are not empty, but it will by I'm going to the article, but experts saying if Trump and China don't get a deal, they don't come to agreement, then by they say this summer is gonna be some empty shelves or things or products that is not gonna be restocked on the shelves and so forth. So we in those times, man, and also got Trump trying to I don't know how true, but I don't know how true it is, but I know I saw something on TikTok, or I saw something on TikTok where somebody was saying this woman, Jake woman, this Israelite woman, the Negro woman, she was saying, I think they said that Trump passed no, not Trump, but the Republicans, they passed the law saying that U.S. citizens can be deported now. So, hey, if that is true, then hey man, we in those times, right? Hey, this is the times where, like I said, the so-called white man, Esau, might say finna come down hard with that great wrath. So the men of the Lord, the apostles, Ellsberg, missed on that. Believe in Lord Yahweh Shai, me myself, first and foremost, and those that believe in Lord Yahweh Shai, we finna be going through those times. Hey, things finna get real. Like I say, the prophecy is gonna be fully fulfilling in these times, and it's all boils down to the Lord Yahweh Shai with you. He's gonna protect you in these times, because it's gonna get real out here for a lot of people, man. It's gonna get real serious out here. It's gonna be a lot of, it's gonna be civil unrest, people, shooting and fighting, and it's gonna be a lot of killing out here for survival and fighting back against the martial law troops once that come about. It's gonna get real ugly out here, man. But let me get this real quick. What's the article I want to get? Let me get it. Slacky. It's not letting me go over some reason. Oh, here you go. This is Yahoo News. So this on Yahoo News. It says, experts reveals exact date to expect empty shelves in stores. And you see a picture right here. It could look just like this, or even worse, But that's what we heading. If they don't get a deal, but that's what we heading into, going into the summer. It seems like it could just definitely be looking like this, or way worse. But read some of it. Since the implementation implementation, the implementation of the new U.S. tariffs. Shipments of products and goods from China to the U.S. have significantly dropped it. And major U.S. retailers have been sending out warnings about supply shortages to come. But so far, stores have been pretty well stocked it. So when should customers expect change? U.S. import duty. U.S. import duties on products from China are now as high as 145%, and China has imposed 125% tariffs on U.S. products and goods, according to CBS News in Port of Los Angeles, which receive around 40% of all imports from Asia. Shipments last week were down 10% compared when the same period 1 year earlier, and that number is expected to keep falling. The date when customers could really see the impact of the tariffs is coming up quickly. According to Mollison Hart, if I'm saying his name right, founder and CEO of The Hart, an educational toy company that imports products from China, the date is around May 10th. So this expert is saying it's expecting around May 10th. That means that there are no economic efforts of what was done on April 10th until May 10th. Hart stated in a post on X. He added around at that time it's already started to happen. Truck work is going to dry up. Warehouses will start doing layoffs because no labor is needed to unload containers. And some products will be out of stock, reducing the need for shipping labor. Hart also said that even if the tariffs are reversed, the whole situation is a bit like lockdowns. Once you shut down, it takes a long time to get economic activity back to where it was, if you ever can. If retailers have been stocking extra items due to the tariffs, it is possible that some customers won't see as much of an impact until the summer. Port of Los Angeles Executive Director Eugene Zarakoa told CBS News that retailers have likely stockpiled significant inventory to last for a couple months, but that come summer, customers could find many products out of stock. So, hey, that's what it's heading to. It's looking like in the coming summer. And like I said, it's especially going into the fall. Could definitely see a economic crash happening. Either, let's say, probably before the fall, or going right into it, or before it. If they, like say, don't come to a deal, this keeps going. China, the president said he ain't backing down from Trump. So, we'll see how things go, but it just keeps going at this rate. Yep, we're looking at great troubles out here, great tribulation, time of Jacob's trouble, with things all going on. Jacob's trouble, is really going on somewhat now, but it's gonna get worse than what you hear right now. But things going on with Jake right now, is the time of trouble for Jake, for the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites. It's gonna get worse, and that's what it's heading to. And all boils down to if the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to have mercy on you in these times and going forward. If you're the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites, if you're a part of that righteous number. But if you're the 2/3 number, you just ain't going to make it. Lord Yahweh Shai is not going to have mercy upon you. So, I'm getting to it. Getting to Second Ezra 15:4. Woe to the world excuse me, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So yeah, woe means destruction. So woe to the world. You know, woe, destruction to this world. The so-called white man Esau, this world, this wicked place. This wicked world that we, living in. The so-called white man Esau, them might, and power and rulership. There's a lot of number of death and destruction is coming to this place. Especially to America, Babylon the Great. On this verse, 2 Ezra 15:5. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in the hand. So yeah. So modern day sword is what you can have a knife and you have a gun, right? So people gonna be fighting with having knives or guns, and trying to survive out here, because when like I said when those shells get low, ain't no more products coming in, we're heading in that direction. People gonna be fighting for those goods, fighting for milk or canned goods, water, bread, canned goods and so forth, right? Meat. It's gonna get real out here, man. Especially like prices it's not gonna seem like it's not slowing down. These prices keep going up on food. People get desperate. They're gonna start walking out the store. You know what I'm saying? It's eventually gonna happen because ain't nobody gonna keep paying for high price groceries and once they get up to once they about to check out, they ain't barely got any money left once they check out. So it's just too much to really be spending on. And people just gonna get desperate, man. We in those times, it's gonna get real out here, man. It's already, you seeing it now. It's just a lot of things going on, but it's gonna get way worse, man. It's gonna get real chaotic right now. I mean, it's gonna get real chaotic going into the summer if this keeps. If the president of China and Trump don't come to agreement, so but it's gonna get ugly out here. But the Lord, everybody shout the prophecies of the Lord it never lies and never fails. It's gotta happen, right? It gotta come to pass, But Second Ezra 15:16. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in power. So yeah. So it'll get to a point like I said, these people out here ain't gonna give a damn about their mayor or whoever, whether they talking about, they don't care what you talking about. They in survival mode. They trying to survive, They got kids to feed, They gotta feed themselves, They gotta, to survive, and by any means necessary. And I can say that, that's how people gonna be, by any means necessary. I gotta, do what I gotta do to survive. I mean, that's the times we heading into, man. It's gonna get real serious out here, man. A lot of people not gonna have no type of remorse. You got people now in these days ain't got no remorse right now, but it's gonna get way worse. Like to the point where people just, hey, you got something they want, or they, they really need, they're gonna take it by any means, So that's what's coming. Second Ezra 15:17. Man shall desire to go to the city, shall not be able. So martial law. And once it get real chaotic out here, martial law is gonna come into play. National Guard troops, martial law troops, UN troops. It's gonna flood the streets, man. The tanks and so forth, the military, because people gonna be out here losing it, man. It's gonna get real ugly out here, bro. And like I said, the Apostle is a great brother, great missed on, for years, man. You prophesied this, it's all boils down to if you gonna keep your faith once it all comes about, because once it goes down, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta deal, we gotta face what's in front of you. And like I said, we in those times, we'll see, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, they don't come to a deal. Hey, it is what it is, it's good that America Babylon Great going down, it just, like I said, boils down to if you're elect, if the Lord Yahweh gonna have mercy upon you or not in these times, He's gonna, deliver you out of, a crazy situation that you might not think that you're gonna make it, out of, But Lord Yahweh with you, He gonna pull you out of it. He gonna, make sure you're good if you're the elect. You kept keeping your faith. You believe in Lord Yahweh, you're not giving up. You still, believing no matter what, right? Because like I said, the scripture say that the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So even like say, if even though you believe in Lord Yahweh, you in the truth. It boils down to if the Lord gonna deliver you, and like I say, you're gonna be righteously. If you are, then no, you're gonna be scarcely be saved. You like, oh man, don't get up out of this. Then Lord can pull you out of it. Bail you out. So, and hopefully I'm part of righteous number to escape the wrath of judgment. Lord Yahweh, Lord Yahweh have mercy upon me. And something come about, He bails me out. You know what I'm saying? So, and that goes for the the men, Lord, Apostle, Elzberg, Redmond Stone, that believe in Lord Yahweh is in the truth. That's all it boils down to. But martial art troops, is going to flood the streets, man. Once it get crazy out here, in America, once it gets crazy here in America, Babylon Great, And I said, especially, the power go out. It's been situations going on, like, over there. I think it was over there in Europe, was it Spain? I think it was Spain. They had a blackout. Everything stopped. Everything was just, that wasn't working. Like I said, once the power go out, it's OV. It's over. If that power don't come back on, within a week, I say I give you a week, 3 days, 3 days to a week, man, it goes into a 2, it's over. It's not coming back on. It is what it is. You gotta deal what you gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get crazy, right? Because everything stops. Ain't no trains moving and nothing moving, right? Just communication stops, like that movie at the end of Leave the World Behind shows you that, like, once communication is gone, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And martial art troops come in, UN troops to come into America and start taking over. It's over with, man. And like I say, these people, especially so-called Negro, Latino, natives, 2/3 Israelites, Jake, that's out here still party, Bush, and thinking that it's gonna keep, it's gonna get better, and things gonna turn around. I know it ain't. So those that not prepared spiritually, and I say, and don't, like I said, Lord Yahweh don't have your back in these times. You gonna be caught up in the judgment that's gonna come about. You'll get caught up in the chaos, and a lot of people gonna be caught off guard what's gonna come down. The judgment that Lord Yahweh gonna bring down. So, and because they not, like I said, like in the days of Noah, they didn't take Noah serious when he was warning them, telling them, hey, the Most High is gonna flood. He's gonna flood. He's gonna bring down the flood, and destroy everything. And, those that those people that had to Noah, they kept doing what they're doing. Not listening to him, partying Bush and laughing at him, mocking him. Mocking him. Saying, hey, you didn't know what you're talking about. Wouldn't know how they was talking to him, Noah. So, you crazy, you know what you're talking about. Just like the Apostle Elzberg, great missed on. Men of the Lord had the truth, call them crazy. Hey, you don't know what y'all talking about. America ain't nothing gonna happen to America. America be good. America ain't gonna be destroyed. Mocking him, whatever, Miss Scoffing. Ain't no MOTV, ain't no Mark of the Beast. Hey, these things are coming. And it's coming ahead, man. The new, the new current's gonna be, you gotta take that chip, which is the mark of the beast. And you got that chip in your hand, in your forehead. Once this dollar's done away with, which eventually is coming to it right at the end of it, it's gonna be to where you can't buy and sell in these stores. And like I say, it was people, and now it was people that saying like they've been having problems with their bank. I think it was USA banking or something like that. They were having problems with their debit. They couldn't withdraw money, They couldn't use their debit card acting up. I think it was like yesterday or something like that. A couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday. It might be a couple of days ago. But, yeah. We in those times. Hey, it's going to come a point, you can't use, your debit card going to be useless, man. You can't withdraw money. they gonna be like, hey, if you ain't got this in your hand, in your forehead, you can't do nothing. You can't access this. You can access your money and your goods and this and so forth. So that's what it's coming to, man. You know, it's gonna get real out here for a lot of people, man. There's gonna one day they're gonna wake up and everything just completely change, man. Things gonna get drastically just it's gonna make people just, desperate, like, like I said, the hour temptation, the market abuse, chip, the hour temptation that what you gonna do when it come about, is you gonna take it or not? It's gonna believe Lord Washington Shy, and you're gonna have most people take it. But like I say, only the elected, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Israelites, gonna have the spirit of, in them, that Lord Yahweh gonna have on them to not take that, to trust in him, like, nah, no. It's gonna get desperate though. It's gonna be intense. That hour gonna be so, the temptation, the hour temptation gonna be so intense that, is gonna break in, you're just gonna break, and give in, because that's how bad it's gonna get. It's how real it's gonna get out here, But like I said, the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, like Lord Yahweh gonna make sure his elect gonna be taken care of, eating, and so forth. They're gonna be, taken care of. But 2 Ezra 15:8, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So yeah, for the pride, you prideful people out here, man. Lord Yahweh, he hates prideful people. He hates pride. People that got here, these Americans out here, they, proudful, you can't tell them shit, they think they know everything and this and that, blah, blah. But like I say, when all hell breaks loose out here, things just, like I say, wake up one day, everything just going, people just losing their mind, going crazy, things just, it's going out, it's going haywire. You hearing police sirens going back and forth, hearing people, just things happening, car crashes happening, people out here stealing, robbing, it's gonna get crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna get real. It's like a movie scene. You're gonna be right there, like in front, like you're gonna be in the midst of it. You could probably be in the midst of it, like, damn, this shit happening. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a movie. This right now, it's real life. Ain't no directing around. Let's say Lawyer Abashai, he's in control, but like I say, like, this ain't no movie. This is happening. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? This is going down. So it's gonna get like that, And say men shall be afraid. Like your toughest guys, your men, like seeing all this happening, they're gonna be afraid. Like, dang, this is wild. What's going on? They're gonna be seeing this and they're gonna be shook up. So that's how bad it's gonna get. But 2 Ezra 15:19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy his houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So there ain't no man. These people ain't gonna have no pity upon their neighbor. Hey, you got something they want, in that house, food or whatever. They'll come and kick down your door and take what you want. You know what I'm saying? Take what they want, because that's how bad it's gonna get. Desperation. You know what I'm saying? They run out of food, whatever it may be. They ain't gonna be like, hey, can I have some sugar? No. Can I have some bread? No, they're gonna just kick you in the door with the gun. Hey man, give me that. You know what I'm saying? What you got up in here? I need it. So that's how it's gonna get, man. Desperation, man. So people gonna be out here cold-hearted, man. And I said, the great tribulation, great troubles, man. And that's what's ahead, man. It seems like that's what's coming. If the President Trump and the President of China come to a deal, it seems like I don't think it will be the. How, the relations right now ain't looking too good. China China probably don't give a damn no more. So it's at that point where, hey, no point of return. Hey, the prophecies got to come to pass. Lord Yahweh ain't playing no more. Hey, it's time. It's time for these Edomite so-called white people devils to go down, man. And like I say, they pride. Some pride coming for destruction. They pride is Trump proudfulness, and what I'm saying, the Edomites proudfulness is gonna bring them down, man. These elites and so forth, they pride is gonna bring them down. So and that's what's going on, and that's what's about to happen very soon. You feel things finna get real serious out here, man. These Edomites, man. I said, Lord, I hate these Edomites. I hate them too. But the Edomites gonna, they finna come with it, man. They finna come down hard with their great rap, man. They not playing. I saw, and I saw, and this story is out. It's like been on the news and so forth. About how ICE raided these people's house. I think it was some Northern Kingdom, but I think it was some Mexicans, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's Northern Kingdom tribes. I think it might have been Issachar, Mexicans. I think, if I'm not mistaken, but they raided a house and they raided the wrong house, but they took their stuff. You know what I'm saying? They took their money, they took everything, and just left them dry. And I don't think they gave it back to them, so I don't know if they received it back or not. I ain't look back into it, but yeah, they took everything and they ain't get it back. So that's what's gonna calm down, man. And I'll say it's gonna get a point where, hey, people gonna get, they gonna come in like that. People just gonna be just shooting back at them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, enough is enough. They're not gonna get fed up. These Americans gonna get fed up. They just start shooting back, man. Fighting back. So that's what's gonna go down. But I ain't trying to make this too long. Hold on. Go to next chapter. Ezekiel 14:6. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread of Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight, and with care they shall drink with water by measure, and with astonishment. So that's what's about to come down for so-called Negro, Latino neighbors, like the time of Jack's trouble. You're going to be, eating your bread by weight. You're going to be, weighing that bread, or you're going to be eating a slice of bread instead of two, instead of two slices, you're going to be eating one slice. Half a slice, whatever it may be, you got to try to make it last, because that's, like I said, when these shelves get empty, when it come about, when these shelves ain't got nothing on there for, no more bread to go get in the stores, and you down where you down to, you got to nourish it out. You know what I'm saying? And drink, like your drink, water, whatever it may be, you going to be nourishing that out. Like, you want to have only half of this, you know what I'm saying? Or to drink, or water for today. And you got to wait till the next day to drink the next half. So and that's what's, that's about to come, It's going to get real, it's going to get real serious out here, man. A lot of people going to be out here, it's going to be a time, like scripture say, going to be a time that since the word begins, it's going to be, it's going to get real serious out here, man. But, go from there to, because I want to make it too long, end it off of this, Ezekiel 5:16. When I shall, matter of fact, make sure. Yeah. Ezekiel 5:16, I'm in it off of this. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, I will increase the famine upon you and will break your staff of bread. So that's what's coming, man. The famine is gonna increase. It ain't gonna slow down. That's what's ahead, man. That's what's coming. And I say people, I say don't, the Trump and the president don't get a deal soon. Because people watching, they listening. Those that, are paying attention, they going to be stocking up. I won't say panic buying, but you going to have those stocking up ahead before, the stores start to not have things stocked up. Especially, I say you pay attention to the top shelf. That top shelf is like an overstock. If they ain't got that overstock right there to pull, you can pull stuff down. If it is not on the mid shelf or whatever, on the bottom, whatever it may be, that top shelf is overstock. So if they don't have no overstock, that's right there. You gotta pay attention to. Okay, they ain't got no overstock. If they don't talk about each row, you go up and down. You don't see no overstock on that top shelf. They start trying to kind of kind of stock up a little bit, stock up some, because start having some, what you can stock up on, that's gonna last. Because I said the bread and stuff like that don't last for long, milk and the water, all that. So it got an expiration date. But you can stock on what you can, ahead of time, for maybe for 30 days at the most. Some people got like might buy stuff in bulk that lasts more than 30 days at Sam's Clubs and Costco's and other people going out that way to, get stuff in bulk just in case, like water or whatever maybe that lasts long, goods that last long that you can eat, that you can warm up and cook on the stove real quick, well maybe, but you're gonna have restaurants shutting down, like say the restaurants that people go out to eat, that's gonna be shut down, so hey, that's the times we're heading into, and I said it's gonna get real out here, man. Babylon Great is gonna be going down. You seeing it now. It's gonna get way worse than what you see right now. But yeah, we heading to those times. We see how things go with the, if China, President China's gonna, and Trump gonna come to agreement. If not, like saying no point of return. This is what it's going. This is what's gonna head into all out chaos and a lot of death and destruction is ahead. So with that, I didn't want to make it too long. So again, like our president, I like to give our president honor glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, to the positive elders, to the sisters and brothers, to the few Aquab sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting us at Shalom.